Welcome back everyone. In today's video we're breaking down this music video that we recently shot over the course of 2 days. We're gonna talk about the gear and mainly break down the scenes in terms of lighting and cinematography. So the camera we shot this on was the red Komodo. Most of the shots were on the Arri Alura, which is a very sharp, modern, like super high quality lens. But then we also had really long zoom shots that we wanted to incorporate in the video, and for those we needed the Cooke 25 to 250, which has the longer range. And then we had the Tokina Cinema ATX 11 to 20mm. Pretty solid option, pretty solid lens. We just had a few shots that were very wide, so we chose that. So this outdoor scene in the garden was the first scene that we shot on the first day of shooting, and the reason why we decided to start with that scene was because of the sun position. When we first location scouted this place, we looked at where the sun would be during different times of the day, and from that we understood that we only had about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours in the morning to have the sun where we wanted it to be. The look we wanted for the scene was a hot summer day. We wanted that midday harsh sun kind of look, but we didn't want the sun to be like right up above them. So most of the scene is pretty much lit with the sun. We also had a big ultra bounce just in front of them to fill in some of the shadows. And then we also had a silver board where the girl was sitting, just to bounce some light back onto her face, because the sun wasn't really reaching the place where she was sitting. So this next shot is the shot of him against the blue sky, and we positioned him so that the light would come from behind him and basically give us this beautiful rim light on his hair and on his shoulders. And then just to get more shape on the face, we have a white bounce board from camera left, just giving him a boost of light and making sure that we're not flat when looking at him from the front. For this next shot of him laying in the bed, we have the camera rigged up just above his head. So we have this warm practical light on the right side of frame, and this light is going to serve as the motivation for our lighting. So when we're lighting scenes, we always want to look for a motivation for the light. That basically means finding something in the frame that the audience can look at and say, well, yeah, that it makes sense that the light would be coming from there. Okay, so in this case, like the practical lamp is not actually lighting his face, but we're using it to unconsciously make you think that the light is coming from there. If we didn't have the practical light in shot, it could be confusing as to like where the light is coming from. Would have looked a bit unnatural maybe. And again, this is very like unconscious. It's not like someone's watching it and like consciously asking themselves where is this light coming from, but it's really something unconscious. So for example, if you have a window in frame, then you want to make sure that the light is coming from that side of the frame. So we have the practical, but the light that's actually lighting his face is the aperture nova, just bounced off of the wall on the right side of frame, and it's just set to a warmer temperature to match the practical light. So that's all it is, very simple. And then we also have a little flag just to block some of the light from hitting the ground next to the bed, just to help focus the attention on him, create some shape in the scene, some shadows, some lighter areas, just to make it more interesting. Moving on to this bathroom scene, we again have the aperture nova. It's rigged just above our talent's head, so you can see it's shaping his face beautifully. We have the shadow side with just a little bit of light touching his cheek, and also on his body you can see we have a very nice fall off from light to dark. And lighting small spaces such as this bathroom is always really challenging, especially when you have a lot of mirrors and white walls. The light is like easily bouncing around and it's hard to create shape. So you can see on this aperture we have a grid, so we're limiting the amount or like the spread of light, and then we're also flagging that on the back side so that it doesn't hit the wall, and that way we can create a better separation with our talent from the wall. And we also have a silver bounce board just to bounce back some light, fill in the shadows. And then we have another shot in the bathroom. This time we're using a Dana dolly to push in and create that nice movement, and the lighting is pretty much the same except for the silver board, and we're using a DMX controller to change the color of the light to this beautiful red light. For this long zoom shot of him singing, we're using the Cooke lens. And for the beautiful backlight, we have a tungsten fixture just on the second floor, shining down, giving us this really amazing light on his hair over there, and just a beautiful rim light on his shoulders. And then from the left side of frame, we have the aperture nova again, just bouncing off of a white wall, and that's also set to a warmer color temperature to match the tungsten backlight. And of course we also have a lot of haze in the room, just to fill in the room with atmosphere. You can see it's picking up all of the lights, especially the backlight, and it just helps give the whole scene this sort of like stage, concert, like dreamy kind of vibe. This was the last shot of day 1, and it's also the last shot in the actual music video. And this again was very crucial in terms of when we shot this, so the timing was very important. We needed that kind of dusk blue hour light, so initially we just wanted to use the natural blue light, but then on the actual shoot, when we saw how it looked, we wanted a bit more of a stylized look. So that's why we decided to have the Nova with some diffusion on a very blue light just off to the side in front of him to wash the whole scene with this blue light. And then inside the house we have a bunch of warm lights, just creating that warm atmosphere from inside, and that really creates a nice contrast between the outdoors and the indoors. So that concludes day 1, and now we're moving on to day 2. This first shot is this long zoom out shot from the TV, and that's again with the Cooke 25 to 250, and the screen was replaced in After Effects, obviously. And one tip I'm gonna give you on that, if you have a similar scene to this one, your best bet is probably going to be to just keep the TV as it is. Don't try to use a green screen or anything like that, because if you just use the regular screen of the TV, the black screen, you're going to get the reflections, which you can later keep, and that's going to add a lot to the realism of the effect. So that's just something to keep in mind if you have something similar. Then we're pushing in with the dolly. They're in the center of the room, hugging each other, and the light is changing. So on the right side we have the aperture nova again with a diffusion frame, and just above them we have a Falcon Eyes LED with a grid to really control the light. So as we're pushing in and tilting up, the nova goes down and the Falcon Eyes goes up. So we're getting that beautiful light switch effect. I really like this shot. It was with the Tokina, the wide lens, and I really like the framing here. And also the lighting is super soft and warm. And it's basically the same lighting setup with the aperture nova through the diffusion, and it's also flagged to not hit the wall so that we get this beautiful shape. And then we just have a white bounce board just to help wrap the light around a bit more and kind of fill in the shadows on the dark side. Moving on to the last portion of the day and the entire music video, we have these exteriors with the vintage car, and most of it, if not all of it, I think was just down to being there at the right time again. Just being there on sunset. I think it was all natural light. Maybe we used a few like bounce boards, but mainly natural light. For this scene we have the dolly truck set up in kind of almost like a 180 degree like half circle kind of thing. We're on the Arri Alura 18-80, and we're zooming in and also panning with the camera together with the dolly movement. So we basically have 3 different movements inside one shot, which I think is what makes this shot really interesting and nice. Then we also have this shot, which is now backlit because we changed the positions. We're shooting from inside the car. So once we go backlight, the lighting is even nicer. It's super golden. We have all of these beautiful rim lights. You can see just the beautiful edge that the backlight is creating. Then this shot is only lit with a single N-light tube set to a red color, and this POV shot is the same, basically just another N-light tube from inside. And that pretty much wraps up this video. Hopefully it was helpful to you guys. Hopefully you learned something new If you did, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know. And if you don't mind, please like this video. It would really help out this channel. It would help YouTube recommend this video to more people, and it would just make me happy. Also, of course, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, more of these breakdowns, because I have a lot of them coming up. And if you really like this video, like it was the best thing you've ever watched, then share it with a friend. Maybe they'll enjoy the video as well. Now, if you want to connect, if you want to shoot me a message and watch my stories, see what I'm doing daily, behind the scenes on productions, stuff like that, then hit me up at Yuval896. Go follow me there. And yeah, let's end this video. I'm just rambling on. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'm gonna see all of you in the next one.